Code 4. Here we are, we're all together. We are live right now as we speak. And I can hit the YouTube button that says watch live now, Die Hard Part 4 on the YouTube site, as you can. If you get a view, like you won't get any money or anything, but you need to be mildly entertained for the space of 2 hours. I am Josh, as always. We have our host, Mr. Mike. Mike, how are you? Hey. We have Clayton.
Hello.
And last but definitely not least, of the non-peanut gallery, we have Mare. You want to say hi, Mare?
Hey.
And then we have the peanut gallery. Peanut gallery, say something. Share some love. Heidi-ho! So, we're all going to be contributing, ladies and gentlemen, to this wonderful broadcast. But before we do, we start every show off, as we have for the last show. This is the second one that we've done this. We start off with a story. Mike, why don't you share the story of the first time you saw The Room?
All right. Well, I believe...
It was a dark and stormy night.
It was dark, but I don't know about stormy. Sure, it was cold because it's Chicago.
Weather
it's always
is
cold.
Unknown.
Yeah, weather is
Chicago.
unknown. That's fair.
I think windy would be a good
There you go, Jared.
Well, I lived in the greatest apartment in Chicago. Okay, it was 3 bedrooms. It was me, Josh, and our very well esteemed friend who I'd very dearly miss, Collins. And when we were living together, we had this agreement. We rotate and pick a movie we would watch, and if I had picked 1 or 2 movies, and finally it was Josh's turn, Josh and Collins, because they both had sided on this, and I had realized I'm like, well, I am their friend, so we do have to watch this. In the back of my mind, thought, oh God, it sounds like a horrible '80s movie that probably might be somewhat inspired by god awful effects and lighting, but who knows. Kind of like there was one other movie I was thinking that it was gonna be like, but anyways. So I remember I'm sitting there. Mind you, our 4th friend Johnny hadn't seen this either. Thank God he was down there too, because I thought, well, at least I won't be the only one. Okay, so if it bombs, I have a witness and I can pick on them, and they can't say anything. Okay, I'm like plotting in my head. I'm totally kidding, dude. Totally giving you a hard time. I remember. I will never forget the magic this night had in store for me. Mind you, I had worked a long week at the airport, 12 hours a day, from 2 a.m. to about 2 or 3 p.m. It is killer. You are constantly on your feet.
You didn't even know what was real and what was unreal at this point. You're just
no. I remember. So we're all on the couch. This is like my Friday night, whatever that day would consist of, which might have been a Tuesday night. So I'm sitting there. I had a beer open. I thought, well, hell, I'm with like my best friends. It doesn't really matter, but hey, it's a good time, right? Like at least we're hanging out in our little home, our little piece of heaven, our little home. On Sacramento Avenue. Yep. Or they call that a garden level apartment. It's a garden level. Whatever that means. It's a basement. Yeah, it's a basement. So I remember I'm sitting there, and within the first 2 minutes, 3 minutes after the credits roll by, I hear Josh just rip a really good joke about something in the movie and take a drink of his beer. And I'm like, all right, hell yeah, this is kind of funny. I see where he's coming from. And then Collins did the same thing. And then Josh went right back into it. And I thought, oh my God, I'm in heaven. This is amazing. It is so bad. I couldn't stop laughing. From the first minute Josh had cracked a joke, I was fighting tears and my face got like beet red because I would take a drink of beer trying to really focus in on this movie. And I realized this isn't the kind of movie you focus in on. Heck no, this is The Room. What was the one line? It was, they were on the rooftop. And this is when everything just came. This is when
how happy you are.
This is when everything just came crashing down on us. I was dying laughing. I almost couldn't breathe. I got kind of scared. It was so funny. It was on the rooftop, or the kid was. They were playing. Or what was it? No, it was. What was her friend's name? Josh, the kid. Remember? I just like to watch the really.
Danny.
What's
Danny.
it? Danny was on the rooftop. Next thing you know, he's with a drug dealer. And next thing you know, after that, there's like 6 other people on the rooftop. And I will never forget this moment. And it got quiet. And then Josh was like, Where did they all come from? And I died laughing because I thought for a second, like, yeah, where did they come from? It was 2 people, now there's like 7. So, you know, you got all the main characters. You got Lisa up there, you got Johnny's up there, Mark's up there, and the grandma's up there. Kids getting interrogated while trying to pretend play basketball on a rooftop. Who puts a basketball court on a rooftop? That's just what I want to
There
know.
was no hoop. He was just dribbling.
Oh, it just dribble, yeah. Because that's what people do. They just dribble basketballs on rooftops, you know.
I mean, I've dribbled with basketballs on the rooftop.
I
Have you all
remember.
seen The Room? Aaron,
It's-
have you seen The Room?
Not all of it, but I have seen the movie made about the room. Made
Oh, The
about the
Disaster
making
Artist.
of the room. Oh yes.
Here's the thing, man. That movie is great, but you need to see The Room. If you think that movie is great, you're missing out because there's something better.
Mike forced components of it upon me.
I tried.
And it
I
made the
really.
impression that was necessary. I just, the only reason to play Skyrim on your PC is just so you can have, what's his name, as a horse.
Oh, Tommy Wiseau?
Yeah, Tommy Wiseau as a horse. I mean, that's the only,
It's a mod.
that's the
It's a
only
mod.
That's the only mod you'll ever need.
Wait, I was just kidding. Is that actually a mod?
Yeah, yeah. So
You
is
can have Tommy Wiseau as your horse in Skyrim.
yes.
It's incredible.
Yes.
The miracles of modern technology. You know, we thought we would be solving cancer and discovering nuclear fusion, but no. We can play Skyrim with Tommy Wiseau as our horse.
Yes.
My internet, how far we've come.
Oh, you can even use the train as the dragon. What was that thing number? It's the
Oh
little train.
God, Thomas the.
Yeah, Thomas the train, man. In the beginning of the game, you can see this big train flying down from the sky.
Legend has shown me the video of Thomas the Tank Engine going crazy.
Thomas
What is
the
that?
train
Yes.
swooping down and
I will
breathing
let me
fire
send
on
it to
you
a
is
group
more
because it's one of my favorite
terrifying
videos of all time.
than anything.
Oh,
Oh,
well, we're
man.
broadcasting right now, Clayton. You can't do that. But yes, Aaron, that sounds incredible. We will have to play Skyrim as Tommy Wiseau as a horse. You can upload that into the group chat or something. It'd be majestic.
Oh, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Hold on.
Done
Wait.
and done.
The name of the video is Thomas the Dank Engine.
There we go. That sounds incredible in its own strange way. I'm intrigued. Well, this is a great this podcast is getting off to a rollicking start. We have our host is gone, and we have Mayor. What has your life been like this week? You wanted to say where we are in Die Hard? You want to talk about what you like about Die Hard, or
Oh.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten a chance to watch it yet. I looked for it, but I can't find it on Netflix, so I will eventually find it. I was able to find what are the other ones with that's kind of similar to it.
Die Harder? And Die
Oh,
Hard with a
Lethal
Vengeance.
Weapon.
Well,
Lethal
yeah,
Weapon.
I was able to find like 8 Lethal Weapon movies, but I couldn't find the Die
God.
Hard movies.
I'm getting too old for this.
Well, you gotta get the Die Hard movies because a Die Hard movie in the hand is worth 2 Lethal Weapon movies in the bush.
I see what you did there. Okay, we left off on scene 262.
That's true.
Okay, 262. Everybody's here.
An amazing start
I,
indeed.
Before I read the first little bit, I wanted to let you all know, I don't know if you knew this, but there is a kind of mushroom that if you eat it only once, it's enough to feed a person until the end of his life. Did you guys know this?
Yes, because he
No.
dies.
That's right.
I
It's a poison mushroom.
see what you did there.
Just let that sink in. It's fun. Yep.
Mario
You,
knows that
you-
all too well.
Teach a man to start a
love
fire and he'll be warm for a night. Set a man on fire and he'll be warm for the rest of his life. All right.
Give it
Oh, yeah,
a
no.
Wonderfully random stuff. That was great.
What'd you say?
I said that was wonderfully random.
It's a wonderful little maxim I like to say, to myself to provide myself with some entertainment and also some wisdom.
Do you ever wake up and tell
Well,
yourself that Josh says your get up and go speech?
I look at myself in the mirror and I say, "What's up?" And then I go out into my day.
I like that. I like that.
Wander
You
around
should
the city,
start
walk the
writing
earth.
them down. Start.
Yeah, well,
start.
I didn't make either of those. You know, I might have stole those from the internet. You know, maybe it was a meme I found. I don't know. I don't have very many original thoughts. I don't think I've ever had an original thought.
Nobody does.
I see what you did there. You're on a
I
roll,
think
Josh.
people. Yeah. Did I tell you the story about flossing? Okay, we'll move on.
You can't
Okay,
just
really
start
quickly.
out with that and then.
2 minutes. I'm so sorry. This happened to me. This happened to me a week ago or 2 weeks ago. I think we talked about this already. But my buddy, we were all sitting around there, and he has a new girlfriend, and we're trying to make conversation with her, and we're all sitting eating fried chicken at the fried chicken place, and Naomi goes, so and so, like, what do you like to do? And she's like, well, actually, like, I've been recently really getting into flossing.
Oh my gosh!
And she was that serious. She looked at me straight in the face, and Naomi's like, oh, so what kind of floss? You know, and I looked at him and realized this conversation's not going anywhere. What just happened? You know, so that was that.
I
So,
met
anyway,
people
now-
like
Is she
that.
like a professional flosser, like a competitive flosser?
Oh, dude, like-
That's what I was wondering. I do not know how much she actually flosses. I don't even know. Maybe she's one of those people that fancies herself a flosser. You know, like the people that fancy
Yeah.
themselves writers, but they never actually write
Yeah.
anything. It's
Yeah.
like that. But she's like, I've been getting into flossing, but she's never picked up a pack of, you know, Oral B in her life. You know, so what does she know? Anyway, scene 222. On hostage floor. The hostages are shaken, and the terrorists guarding them aren't too sure. Are we on scene 222?
262. The
262.
Oh, 262. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, sorry
computer
about that.
floor. Josh, the way you tell stories, bro. Oh man.
I don't know this story. That's all due to
She's never
Naomi's
touched floss in her
engaging people in-
life. How did your sister not laugh? I would have been dying. I would have
She kept a straight
died.
face. I mean, like, you have to impress the new girlfriend. You know, like, oh, you've been getting into flossing. That's interesting. You know?
Yet she looks
You
like
use
she's
waxed
never
or unwaxed.
wax on, wax off.
Okay, so keep in
Scene
mind
262.
my Hans at this point is impersonating an American, so just so you're not freaked out by my strange American.
Oh yes,
German accent.
yeah, Clayton. Why don't you give us the synopsis of what has gone on before?
So, a bunch of terrorist scumbags, led by the infamous Hans Gruppe, have attacked the Nakatomi building. And inside the Nakatomi building is one formerly Mrs. McLean, who is now going by her maiden name and separated from her husband, and she works at this company. And
What is her name, Clayton?
I cannot remember her name.
Clayton, you're leading this charge.
What is her name, Josh?
Holly Gennaro.
Oh yeah.
Yes, there you go. Holly.
Right, Pat?
And so
Gennaro.
Hans and they're up to some nefarious plans. There's been much gunfire. Her husband, the infamous John McClane, is visiting, spending the holidays, coming out for a few laughs.
Spending Christmas.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I mean, it is Christmas.
with a few laughs. We'll come out to the coast. It'll be great. Have a few beers. Have a few laughs. Etc. Etc. And currently, our hero John McClane has come face to face with the villain Hans Gruber, and not knowing it because Hans is impersonating an American.
Right. Unlike the time he was
also-
impersonating a fish when he was called Hans Gruber, which is a little different. You know, he was a. I'm sorry, that fell flat. Okay.
You should be ashamed of yourself, Josh.
We
You also
have
had the what there?
recent edition of Little Johnson and Big Johnson, which I found very entertaining.
I
That
died.
is so good. That
I
is so
died.
good. And they're the FBI agents, which are on the ground. The FBI is trying very hard to do the right thing. But as usual, they just muck it all up. All right, scene 262, the computer floor. McLean and Hans walk together. Hans is still a quote-unquote nervous wreck.
There was a party, a celebration. All
Wait.
of a sudden, they were there, shooting, threatening us.
That's supposed to be
Closing
Hans.
shut.
Where's your German accent?
He's impersonating an American.
Oh.
Yeah, I just said this.
No.
I'm sorry. I'm a bit slow. I admit it right now.
Closer shot, 263. McLean looks at this poor civilian on the edge of going to pieces. He puts his hand on his shoulder.
Relax, man. You smoke?
Hans nods, still quote-unquote frightened.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
McLean takes out his spoils of war, the Marlboros, 2 left. He sighs, takes one, offers the other one with an expression like a little boy forced to share a cookie. McLean takes out a lighter, does his and Hans's. Hans nods, grateful, and peers at McLean.
You don't work for Nakatomi, and if you're not one of them...
I'm a cop from New York.
New York?
They invited me to the Christmas party. Who knew? Better than being caught with your pants down, right? John McClane.
Wow.
William Clay. Call me Bill.
McLean nods, friendly-like, and his eyes glance casually over at the wall. A roster of Nakatomi employees in alphabetical order. Camera moves over the C's. Campbell, Clay, Crawford, L. Hands back to Clay.
Bill, you know how to use a handgun?
One weekend, I went to a combat ranch. You know, the game with the guns that shoot red paint. Must sound pretty silly to you.
Sounds better than nothing.
McLean takes out his Beretta, pops out the magazine, jams in a fresh one, and hands it to him.
Time for the real thing.
McLean turns, moves on. We stay on him until he reacts to a click. He slowly turns. Hans is, well, Hans again, from expression to posture. He holds the pistol aimed at McLean's face and talks calmly into his radio in German.
Carl, Franco, I'm on 33. Come quickly. Put down your gun and give me my detonators.
Hans. You're Hans.
Yeah. Put it down now.
That was tricky, with the accent. I bet you do a great Ed Sullivan. Why do you need detonators, Hans? I already used the explosives.
I'm going to count to 3.
Yeah, like you did with Takan. That guy.
McLean raises his machine gun, aims at Hans. Hans pulls the trigger. Click. Astonishment. Click, click, click. McLean steps in carefully, reclaims his pistol.
You think I'm a schmuck, Hans?
Hans pales as we hear the ding of an approaching elevator.
Ding. You were saying.
McLean whirls in time to see Carl, Franco, and Fritz coming out of it, firing. McLean fires back, killing Fritz. Carl and Franco take cover. McLean ducks at a water cooler, looks back at where Hans was. He's gone, a swinging office door, the only evidence of his passing. McLean curses himself, then retreats into a bank of computers where he ducks and dodges. His bullets ring and ricochet all around him. Ducking and rolling, he fires at Franco. McLean's bullets rake his middle. Where's the sound effects, guys? Oh my gosh. Throw him over his desk. He's blind. Closer. He slides right into a glass door. He smashes around his head. Bright arterial blood fountains up. McLean and hope rise into the prospect of an equal battle. His face suddenly falls. His bullets fly from an unexpected direction. He turns. Hans has reappeared and snatched up Franco's weapon. McLean fires, moving, trying to keep from being flanked. One of his shots shattered a glass panel, raining down shards near Hans, who escapes from the superficial scratches. Hans looks at the glass around and gets an idea. He shouts to Carl in German.
The glass! Shoot the glass!
And saying this, he demonstrates. Carl follows suit. As glass flies everywhere, McLean sees one option, taking it. Blasting a burst to keep their heads down, he whirls, jumps on top of a long counter, runs across the room. Their bullets follow him, 6 inches behind his moving form. Big Cray units groan with electronic squeals and sparks as a million gigabytes go to ram heaven. McLean reaches the end of the counter, dives and rolls to the floor. His foot goes right down on a jagged shard. He groans, keeps going. Stairwell door. He's out, gone, safe. Carl looks pleased as hell. Behind him, Hans sifts through rubble and comes over smiling. He's holding the bag of detonators.
Ram
Smile,
heaven.
Carl.
Wow.
We are back in business.
Cut to interior TV trailer, Hasseldorf.
Who the heck is that?
That was Mayor, I believe.
No, I believe that was you, Josh. The TV
Oh.
reporter.
Well, Aaron, do you want to do this one?
I don't have the script
Oh.
out, guys. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh
Was it
no,
Mike
it's
reporter?
it's cool. I thought Clayton was. Yeah, I didn't think I was.
No, I was definitely not him. I have many other roles.
Okay. I mean, somebody do Hasseldorf. Unless you want me to do it. I feel like I'm talking a lot. I'll do it.
Okay.
Where are we at? All depends on what we would mean by terror. If Clausewitz could say that war is just the last resort of diplomacy, couldn't we just as well say that terrorist has an equal claim to... Mary comes inside, grinning ear to ear. Thornburn looks up from his Danish, a cute little chin napkin protecting his shirt collar.
Wow. Wow.
I I like the reference they have of Clausewitz.
I
That's
did
real
too.
Nice. It makes me happy.
His little chin napkin protecting his shirt collar. That's cute.
Who's Thornburg?
Okay.
Mike.
Okay. You got something?
I wonder who should play
Just
Mary.
McLean's name, badge number, police record, vital statistics, and his family's address, right here in L.A.
As Thornburg grins, we go to the hostage for Holly and Ginny. Holly has watched all this nervously, but Ginny's eyes follow Carl, who doesn't share the mood of the others.
Who's Ginny?
I don't remember. I think it's Clayton.
No, I'm not Ginny. Dadgummit.
Hey, it's Clayton!
I think it's Mike then. Someone do it.
Alright. That one looked pissed, Miss Gennaro.
Thank God. He's still alive.
Cut to upstairs washroom. The door jars open. McLean all but crawls inside. As he passes the counter, we see his dragon foot leaving a trail of blood on the linoleum. Theo and Kristoff react delighted as they get the message. Sixth lock deactivated. There's a tongue twister for you. Suddenly, a buzzer sounds and the graphic flashes. Electromagnetic seal engaged. Cannot be disarmed at this location. Terminate sequence. Yes, no. Mayor, I think you're Theo.
That miracle you were talking about. You broke through number 6, and your electromagnetic came down like a sledgehammer.
Well, have a
Whenever
look at
Mayor
what our
does
friends
places-
outside are doing, and I'll be right up.
Whenever Mayor does the big guy voices and Clayton does the little girl voices, I just die. It's so very funny. All right. Bathroom night. Wincing in pain, McLean washes his foot in a sink basin. He washes the deep cut, soaps it, but the pain doesn't relent. When a voice speaks, he jumps, realizes it's the CB.
Roy, you still with us?
Yeah, but all things being equal, I'd rather be in Philadelphia. By the way, chalk up 2 more terrorists.
The boys will be glad. We got a pool going on you.
Yeah, what's the odds?
You don't want to know.
Put me down for 20 anyway. I'm good. I'm good for it, pal. So you got off the street, Al? You liked lousy coffee or what?
Well, I realized I couldn't do what I had to anymore. At least not out there. I had an accident.
The way you drive, I can see why.
I shot a kid. 11 years ago. Yeah, it was dark. He was big for his age. Damn ray gun. He looked real enough. Yeah, I had all the right excuses, but afterwards I really couldn't draw my gun again.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make a joke of it.
Hey, you couldn't know.
I still feel like crap.
Then this won't matter. LAPD is not calling the shots anymore.
As McLean reacts, we go to the vault room. Night. Hans and Theo lean over a monitor watching the DWP truck near the parking garage.
There's the city engineers. We're going into the street circuit. Who are these guys in suits?
It's beautiful. It's just beautiful.
It's wonderful.
Hans?
Hans.
Oh, sorry. That's the FBI ordering them to cut the building's power. They're as regular as clockwork, or a time lock. The circuits that cannot be cut are cut automatically in response to a terrorist incident. You asked for miracles, Theo. I give you the FBI.
When you're hot, you're hot.
As we saw on Theo's screen, the Johnsons and Robinsons and Powell are a man Cole with the city engineer. A big control box is there, cables sneaking into the ground where another city worker finishes welding a last connection. Let's splice then down the line.
Do it now.
The engineer throws out giant levers. Inside the manhole, sparks smile and the massive contacts clunk. The building, one by one, all the light on all the floors go out. McLean in the back room ripping off his shirt and tying it around his foot. He reacts to,
Pow, what's going on?
Ask the FBI. They got the terrorist playbook and they're running it step by step.
McLean reacts worried. He knows better. The hostages groan with this new problem. The vault room, Theo and Kristoff and Hans huddle over the computer monitor screen as hit where a warm color place. Theo points to the computer screen. All they can do is wait. We hear the hum of a portable generator. The lights go off. The computer screen stays on. Then Theo looks over at the safe. It still reads, fiber optic time lock cannot be disarmed with this terminate sequence. Yes, no. Back to scene.
Damn it! It didn't go!
They're on the building circuit. It's too local.
Somebody's got a vape.
Mm-hmm.
I know that sound anyway.
Clayton.
Yes, sorry.
Hans.
Yeah. Encourage them to be bolder.
The only thing left for them is the city grid. They may not do it.
I can't even.
I love it so much.
Just as the Johnsons are looking all smug, all the floors go back on, one by one.
Oh, I guess I'll do little. Crap! It cut out! Go wider!
I can't go wider here. I'd have to call downtown, have them take out one of the city grids. You're talking 10 square blocks.
10 blocks? Are you crazy? It's Christmas Eve, thousands of people. The mayor will scream bloody murder.
Big Johnson, that's also you, Mayor, I believe.
What? No, that's not me.
We must shut down the building. Go wider.
I need authorization.
Authorization? How about the United States frickin' government? Lose the grid or lose your job.
Central, this is Walt out in Nakatomi. I want you to shut down grid 212. No kidding. Just shut it down now.
Pause. And then the floor of all the buildings go out again in the vault room. Emergency lightning flicks on, an alarm. Beep, beep, beep. The LED readout on the safe changes to fiber optic time lock deactivated at source. 7th lock disengaged. With a dramatic hum worthy of 2001, the vault door opens. The FBI guys look at the dark building, then at the LAPD guys.
That should shake him up. With all the power shut down, those bastards are probably scared shitless.
The safe door finishes this ponderous move, clunks to a halt. Theo and Kristoff laugh, give each other high fives. Even Hans loses his usual cool. Slaps Theo in the back as Theo and Kristoff cheer. Cut to Thornberg's TV truck drives along a residential street. We see the Nakatomi Tower and the BG spotlit by the police beams. Thornberg checks the map, points out a turn to the driver. Powell looks up at the dark structure lit only by emergency lighting. He slides over to the FBI men.
What do we do now? Arrest them for not paying their electric bill?
We let them sweat a while. Then we'll have them expecting helicopters. We get them helicopters.
Right up the ass. This is Johnson. No, the other one. I want that air support ready to lift off in 5 minutes. Damn right, fully armed. We're on our way. Attention in the building.
Hans talks while Theo and Kristoff tackle the problem of unloading the racks and racks of bonds and transferring them to the lock cases.
This is Hans. This is Agent Johnson of the FBI. The State Department has arranged for the release of your comrades. The helicopters you requested are on the way. I hear you, FBI. We will be ready. When they touch down and we blow the roof, they'll spend a month sifting through the bodies and rubble. By the time they figure out what went wrong, we'll be earning 20% like nice fat capitalists. By the time he figures out what hit him, he'll be in a body bag.
The Johnsons exit. Powell and Robinson look at each other unhappy. Powell's CB hisses.
Pow, listen.
I'm here, John.
Okay. Look, I'm getting a bad feeling up here. I'd like you to go do something for me. Look up my wife. Don't ask how. You'll know by then. And tell her I've been a jerk. When things panned out for her, I should have been behind her all the way. We had something great going on.
until I screwed up. She was the best thing that ever happened to me, to a bum like me. She's heard me say I love you 1,000 times, but she never got to hear this, honey. I'm sorry. You got that?
Bravo.
I got it. You can tell her yourself. Just watch your ass and you'll make it.
I hope so. But that's up to the guy upstairs. Upstairs. Hans, you bastard. That what you doing?
Roy?
Stand by, pal. I gotta check something out.
He moves toward the door, limping hurriedly out of the room. Thornburg's got one last foot literally in the doorway, but since Polina has the chain on, it's not quite enough.
Oh,
Thornburg is at the house of McLean.
That's me. 1 minute, that's all we ask. You could be denying their last chance to talk to their parents?
No, I'm sorry. Mrs. Holly says I shouldn't let strangers into the house. No.
Strangers? I'm with KFLW TV. That's affiliated with the FCC. I'm sure you know that's the United States government, just like the INS.
No. The mechanical floor, McLean hobbles in here, favoring his foot. As he retraces his steps earlier, mentally replaying his meeting with Hans.
That's what we like to hear at KCFW when interrogating. I was here. He was.
His eyes flick over the area, then he looks up. Seeing something, he moves closer. He sets down his CB and then, with difficulty, climbs up on a thick pipe, flicks his lighter, and holds it high. His POV. Explosives are everywhere. He reacts, quickly extinguishing the lighter. He follows the detonator lines with his eyes.
Oh my word. Pal, listen to me. You're being double-crossed. The whole roof, this whole building is...
Suddenly, a gun barrel is pressed against his head. He stiffens. Carl takes his Beretta, tosses it away. Then Carl takes the CB. Smiling, Carl smashes the transmitter underfoot. Powell is beside one of the radio monitoring officers.
Roy? Hello? Hello. I thought you had him.
I did. He said something about a double cross.
Tell me about it.
New angle, showing the two helicopters in the distance heading this way. At the machine floor, Carl hovers over McLean, who hasn't moved a muscle.
We're both professionals. You do it personal. You are done.
Wham! McLean drives his elbow into Carl's face. Carl's body clatters to the floor. McLean follows his first blow with another. Carl recovers with a spinning karate kick, slams McLean back. Cut to hostage floor night. Eddie turns from the window. Chopper lights loom closer. He's a hostage. Camera pans to the room across the doorway of the office where Hans nods, stands. I know you're proud of your daddy. Close up Holly. She's speechless, watching in shock as the portable TV shows Thornburg at Holly's house. He's squatting down with his microphone to interview the children in their PJs. His voice is soft and comforting.
Because he's a very brave policeman, and your mom has shown just as much courage. But there is something you would like to say to them if they were watching?
John Jr. says nothing, but Lucy looks at the camera.
Come home.
Come. Oh,
Sorry.
You got it.
She struggles to stay composed, but can't because there's two voices coming out of the girl for some reason. She slowly turns her head, looks at Hans. The POV Hans. He's looking very far away from us at the picture of the children on her desk. He turns back and looks at her. He smiles.
Hi, Mrs. McLean. How nice to make your acquaintance.
He raises his weapon, but he only shoots it into the ceiling, making everyone jump.
On your feet. Everyone! Upstairs now! You lock them up there and come right back down.
Uli nods as he and Eddie herd everyone up toward the stairs. Hans moves forward, grabs Holly himself. McLean and Carl move toward each other, each sizing the other up, each looking over at the terrain.
Oh, God. Better this way, isn't it? I mean, any faggot can shoot a gun.
This time, Carl doesn't take the bait, and when he does charge, it's unexpected. The two men fight brutally. Carl bringing years of martial training to this moment. McLean bringing nothing but the street. Are you listening to this screenplay? Is epic. That is the best screenplay line. Carl bringing years of martial training to the moment. McLean bringing nothing but the street. New angle. McLean.
You should have heard your brother scream when I broke his freaking neck.
Carl steps in quickly with a deadly move. McLean twists free, slams an elbow into Carl's kidney. Carl backs off, circles McLean with a new respect. Cut to inside an FBI chopper in flight. Through the canopy, we see another flanking chopper. Johnson and Johnson are here. Helmets and mics on. Big Johnson checks aerial maps while Little Johnson checks some camo clips for sniper's scope assault rifle. I'm just thinking Big Lebowski. Keep going.
Stay low. They're expecting transports, not gunships.
What do you figure? A breakage!
I figure we take out all the terrorists and lose 20% of the hostages, 25 tops.
I can live with those numbers!
Theo and Christoph load the bonds into big cases which carried all their gear when they entered. As Hans and Eddie come in, they look curiously at Holly.
A little bonus for us. A policeman's wife might come in handy. McLean, I have some news for you. McLean.
Scene floor, tilt up from the studio radio, Carl smashed. Carl and McLean are in the BG, almost toe-to-toe. All their tricks played out, going at it with animal instinct.
McLean. Carl.
He looks at Theo.
Hurry.
Uli hurls the hostages up onto the roof, pushing the last few out. They float toward us, hugging the street, their props wash shaking. I don't know what that means. They're fighting, everything's fighting, and then they go back down to Holly, and Holly says, because Holly's...
After all your posturing, all your speeches, you're nothing but a common thief.
I know I am, but what are you? Oh, sorry. I am an exceptional thief, Mrs. McLean. And now that I'm moving up to kidnapping, you should be more polite.
He slaps her. Machine floor. Carl drives McLean back with a sweeping head kick. Another one. McLean is staggering. He gets in one hard punch and then Carl charges at him. McLean falls backward, drives his legs upward, propelling Carl into the air. Low angle. Carl goes into a loop chain hanging over a turbine, becomes entangled. McLean jumps to his feet, yanks the other end of the chain. Carl is jerked upward by the neck. He twitches like a captured fish. Starts to turn blue. McLean twists the chain around a pipe as Carl stills. McLean snatches up his Beretta from the floor and runs out. Cut to choppers in the air. You can see the tailing chopper through the open port of this one. Big Johnson leans over, slaps the shoulder of his pilot.
What the heck?
Just like Saigon, eh, Wally?
Where the heck are we? Oh.
I couldn't tell.
Oh, okay.
Now where it was. The roof. The door rattles. His back to the camera. Uli goes to the door, opens up, and two bullets come out his back. Smoking Beretta in hand, McLean vaults over the body before it has even stopped twitching. As the hostages squeal and scream, McLean snatches up Uli's machine gun, runs out into the roof. He charges through the crowd, spots Ginny near the edge of the roof. She meets him halfway.
Where's Holly?
I think Ginny is you, Mike.
Oh, she took her. After they saw the kids on television. What? Oh no.
Looks off to the choppers. Closer yet, he turns, shouts.
Listen to me. Sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go all crazy there. Listen to me.
That's
All of
like,
you, get down.
Batman.
The floor's dark.
Central's Batman.
You're all in danger.
This is McLean.
Oh, I've smoking too much.
What are you, crazy? We're being rescued. Those helicopters.
Let me clear my throat. There won't be crap for all those helicopters to land on, because the whole top of this building's wired with explosives. Now get below.
But we're safe up here.
Safe, my ass. This ain't a helipad. It's a launching pad.
And he fires
Wow.
over their head. They scream, head for the door as he fires again, raking a line across the roof. They really haul ass.
What the heck? Oh, I see. Oh, sorry.
Get below, now!
A young FBI agent is here with a rifle and a partner. Mayor, you want to be the young FBI agent?
Yeah.
Flatleader, this is Wing. I think they're on to us. One of the terrorists is firing on the hostages.
Roger! Wing, we copy! Swing round! Give me a clear shot!
In the vault room.
Schnell, der sieht zum Kutz.
Something catches his eye. He turns, looks at the view through the window. Through the glass, he can catch a glimpse of the hostages coming back into the room. Cut to the roof. McClane herds the last of the hostages inside, starts for the door himself. When a roar and a chatter of rotors, the lead chopper zooms overhead. McClane throws himself down on the ground, looks up as the chopper banks into the light turn, and then from the open side, gunfire erupts. Shocked, McClane dives out of the way as the bullet slides across the door. Hostages on lower floors are descending, screaming and howling as a chopper sweeps past the window with a loot pass.
I'm not getting paid enough for this.
Both Johnsons fire away.
Oh my word! Oh my
We
word!
purposely put that in there.
Blow the roof now!
God bless. Oh, Christoph. But that's not me.
But Karl and Uli up there.
Camera adjusts to show the remote detonator on the table. Hans goes to it. The roof. McClane dives away from another burst.
You assholes, I'm on your side.
They came over on another pass. Desperate, he looks around, seeing a fire hose, makes up his mind. With a chopper looking up behind him, he slings Uli's weapon, runs to the fire hose, unreels 3 yards, loops it around his back and under his legs. He looks over the edge, hesitates.
Screw this.
Bullets hit all around him. He jumps. The vault room. Hans extends the antenna, hits the button. Long shot, the roof, the helipad explodes. A fireball rolls into the sky. The hostages lose their footing on the floor. Dust and debris fall down, but they're okay. Johnson & Johnson's chopper strains to avoid the rising fireball, and it can't. It's caught in the explosion. It tips over, a rotor hits the roof, it crashes, explodes, and tumbles onto the side of the building. McClane dangling against the side of the building. He ducks and winces as flaming debris soar past him. The roof, hose wheel device, flame roars toward it, engulfs it. It jerks on its foundation, pivots 180 degrees, and several bolts slip. McClane drops several more feet. He swallows, then kicks against the side of the building, his bloody feet leaving smears. The shatterproof glass does not budge. Wincing as more flaming debris sizzles by, McClane pulls the machine gun, kicks off from the building, swings back 10 feet, reaches the zenith of his arc, fires the gun, and sails back in. Inside the building, McClane smashes through the shattered glass, sails inside, rolls onto the floor, plowing through furniture and decor. Finally, he stops, catches his breath with relief, rises to one knee. Up on the roof, the fire hose mounted is blasted off the roof, sails past the camera. McClane is yanked off his feet by the erring, falling fire hose, dragged toward the window. The hose wheel outside, it slides down the edge of the building. The hose plays out on the side of the windowsill. Where's the sound effects? Everybody, I just hear clicking. Dragging the bed, McClane toward his death.
Chaos is happening.
No help. Inches from one shattered window, he braces his legs against the sill, groans as he fights the weight of the hose and the reel. One foot slips. Only his already wounded foot keeps him indoors. He scrambles to untie his improvised propelling ring, gets free just before the hose nozzle crashes out and leaps into the great beyond. Winded, strength ebbing, he staggers to his feet just in time for the roof to recoil from another staggering explosion. The hostages scream and cry out as Holly covers her head.
401k!
The men work like automatons, piling up the bonds. McClane recovers from another aftershock, runs up the steps, is momentarily amazed to hear a ding from the elevator. He looks at the shaft, where suddenly the wall explodes outward and an entire elevator crashes through the wall, swinging on its cable like a demolition ball on a crane. McClane runs flies past his head like shrapnel. The elevator reaches the apex of his swing. A bunch of other stuff happens, and then McClane gets down there to where Hans is. As the building ceases to rock, Argyle sneaks a peek out from under the fur and sees his POV of Theo at the delivery truck, the other black guy in the movie. He steps into a white paramedic jumpsuit and zips it up. He hops into a cab and pulls the truck.
Are we about to see black on black violence?
Oh.
No. No.
Uh-oh.
Political.
Don't let CNN hear that.
Or we could treat them like people, as all people, because all people are just people. But, you know, what do I know? McClane on the vault floor creeps forward, looks carefully into his POV vault room. They're getting ready to leave with the bearer bond. Suddenly, the camera focus changes to Holly. Back to scene. McClane's face shows his anguish. He checks the weapon he took from Uli. 1 bullet.
Oh, crap.
He checks his Beretta. 1 bullet. He thinks, desperate. Besides, he takes the bullet from the rifle clip, adds it to the rifle clip. How is that possible? We don't know. Is it the same magazine? Lots of questions here. He slams the pistol clip
so
back.
confused.
Really worried. Mind races.
Also, I'm getting so upset by the repeated use of clip. You idiot scriptwriter.
Multiple clips, one round. I'm confused.
It's fine.
Crap under my breath.
Let it go. Mind racing. He looks all around the room. His eyes fall on the tape dispenser. He thinks again, steps toward into it.
I could use some tape right now.
Theo has pulled 2 ramps from the truck and slips into the back. A car engine fires up inside the truck. Realization dawning, he vaults into the front seat. A paramedic man shoots out the back. Theo staggers in time for Argyle to deck him with one punch. Where's the camera when you need them? You cut to the vault room. Hans.
Let's move.
The last of the money is piled on. Hans hangs. Is it hangs? Hans hangs onto Holly while Eddie pushes the mail carts of money bag. Christoph goes to the door to scope their estate. Suddenly, he is cold cocked by a rifle butt. The plane steps into view on the doorway, backlit by sparks still tumbling down the roof. He holds the machine gun ready.
Hans
turns, not that surprised. Grinning, he yanks Holly into view. No words need to be said.
John!
But yet she says one anyways.
I know! Holly, we have to stop meeting like this. Are you kidding me? Wow. That's what it is? A freaking robbery? So why nuke the building, Hans?
Well, when you steal $600, you can disappear. But when you steal 600 million, they will find you. Unless you play dead. Which happens to be your next role. Drop your gun, please.
Wow. Oh. McLean hesitates. Hans.
Oh, sorry. I forgot that I had an Asafan. 9 dice in ice mean. This time, John McClane does not walk off into the sunset with Grace Kelly.
That was Gary Cooper. Craphead.
No more jokes. Drop it or she gets one between the eyes.
Whoa. Hans. Now you're the cowboy.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. Now,
Oh my god, I need that as a ringtone.
McLean. Holly, now!
Instantly, Holly sidesteps, jabs her elbow into Hans's face. McLean over shoulder shot. At the same moment, Holly moves. McLean grabs his Beretta from the hiding place, takes to the back of his neck, shoots Hans in the chest. The bullet passes right through Hans, and the window behind him splatters with blood and shatters. Even while this is happening, McLean spins. Eddie, through McLean's widespread legs, Eddie takes the gun shot, drops just like on Gunsmoke. Back to scene 388. Hans drops his weapon, staggers, looks down at his own blood in shock. McLean.
You were right about us Americans. We're cowboys.
Vault room, the wider, incredibly. Hans still stands, eyes filled with shock and disbelief. He reels, falls against the to topple, and then he grits his teeth and from some inward place finds a last reserve of strength, and he grabs Holly's wrist. And she is yanked off her feet. Back to scene. Hans goes out the window, pulling Holly with him. McLean leaps forward, catches her inside arm near the elbow at the last minute. Exterior building, long shot.
All
The
of
roof
this
is
seems
still
so
plain.
unrealistic.
McLean hangs halfway out of the window. Go back to 2010 with your realistic dialogue. The roof still in flames. McLean hangs halfway onto the window, jagged glass talking, his face straining to hold on to Holly as Hans drags her out. McLean braces himself against the window frame and strains to pull Holly closer. With a moan, she catches the windowsill with her inside hand. With his other hand, begins to wristband. His hands wide, the death grip on the watch band. You widen, see that blood, flecked teeth gritting. He is straining with his other hand to bring up the gun that he's still holding. McLean, Holly's scream alerts him. Hans locks eyes with McLean one last time, starts to pull the trigger as McLean realizes the latch on the watch band. The overtacked metal snaps, links flying. Hans' face registers his horror as he and most of the watch suddenly drop. We listen to his scream all the way down, finally hear him hit. McLean pulls Holly back into the room and holds her.
It's okay, babe. It's okay.
He looks down at Hans's body, then back onto the scrap of wristband that he's still holding.
You got a warranty on this? Wow.
She laughs through her tears and holds on to him. Dissolved to exterior building dawn, smoke drifts up from what has suddenly become the top floor. Thornburg's remote truck careens into the parking lot. A crowd watches as the front doors of the building open. We see McLean, who holds up Holly and in turn is supported by SWAT men. As reporters start shouting questions, McLean breaks free of his entourage and holding Holly pushes into the crowd.
Al, you there?
The crowd eddies and surges. Suddenly Powell is there, and McLean knows that it's him. They stare at each other 10 feet apart, and then they're grinning and extending their hands, but somehow a shake isn't enough, and they're embracing each other like men who've lived through combat together, which in fact is the truth.
Al, man, you were my rock. I couldn't have made it without you.
Oh, sorry. Bullshit, man.
I'm serious. Hey, this is my wife, Holly Gennaro.
Holly McLean.
Hearing this, McLean grins, pulls her close.
Grinning.
A pleasure. I guess John doesn't need me to give you that message anymore.
Message?
McLean begins to make silent ink-snay gestures in Powell's direction.
Oh, you know, about him being such a jerk and how he's really sorry. Oh, I'm sure he'll fill you in.
Just then Robinson barges forward.
That's you, Mayor. FBI.
I want you for debrief, McLean. You've got some things to answer for. Alice's murder, property damage, interfering with police business.
A scream causes McLean to turn. There is in the doorway is Carl, clothing and body scorched. Easily as crusted in dirt and blood as McLean, he holds onto his machine gun. As the crowd panics trying to escape, Carl locks eyes with McLean and levels his gun. McLean throws Holly to the ground and grabs the dumbstruck Robinson's sidearm. But he doesn't get off a shot. A lone gunshot stops Carl, knocking him back through the window. McLean looks back to see Powell still sighting down the barrel of his .38. His hand is rock steady. He sees McLean's look.
You were right. You couldn't have made it without me.
Oh my
They
gosh.
smile. Suddenly, McLean and Holly squint as lights turn onto them. Thornburg pushes his way forward, Mike extended like a weapon.
Mr. McLean, Mrs. McLean, any comment on your incredibly ordeal with your feelings now that it's all over?
Without a beat, Holly punches him in the chops. He falls, dropping the mic with an electronic squeal. McLean looks at his wife, amazed. Behind them, Thornburg sits on the ground, nurses his lip, turns to his cameraman.
Oh, did you get that? Did you get that?
Holly and McLean continue on, turn toward Argyle's limo. It's a little smashed up, but still running. Argyle is standing beside the open door. McLean and Holly get in, and Argyle closes the door. If this is your idea of Christmas, I gotta be here for New Year's. Camera just to show the rear window where McLean and Holly are kissing. As they drive off, we fade out. The end. 20th Century Fox Script Department. 10210 West Boulevard, Los Angeles.
And so ends one of the greatest Christmas films ever made.
I'm
So
just
what
glad.
happened to Eddie and Theo, guys?
It's a good
Eddie
question.
and Theo are dead as doornails, or maybe they appear in Die Hard or Die Hard Part 2.
Oh, okay.
No, that's the
They
third
don't
one,
know.
Josh. Die Hard. The trilogy.
Die
The
Hard
trilogy.
Vengeance.
Yeah,
Die Hard
but
trilogy.
What about Big Mike or Big Nick or whatever it was?
Big Johnson and Little Johnson.
Big Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
They got blown up in the helicopter.
What
because it
happened to
landed on
them?
them. Yeah, it got blown up in the helicopter.
Oh.
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 Yeah, at the top of the roof. Remember?
Those
Yeah.
are the
It was-
treasures, right?
As I was
Reminiscing
running-
of